Hi and welcome back to Paras Analytics. In today's edition of Python programming, we are going to cover print, strings and user-defined input functions. So the first one is going to be print function. Print function is one of the most common function is mostly used for the debugging purpose to see what's happening within the code and what changes needs to be made. Print function basically sends out the output to the console. So here we are going to see each of the three functions, print, string and the input function in our Python IDE, which is idle. So let's jump to the idle and see how it works. Okay, now let's check out what is the syntax of the print function. So since print is a function, we need to write the syntax as the name of the function and then the brackets. So like if I just write like this, print and brackets, it will not print anything because we have not specified inside the print as parameters. It will just print as blank. So if I write print 5, we are just specifying the value 5 within the parameters, so it is printing out 5 in console. So since 5 is a numeric in nature, so we don't have to specify any kind of single quotation or double quotation within 5. But if we specify any kind of string value, then it's like this. So since you can see high is a string in nature, so we specify it in single quotes. We can also specify the same in double quotes as well, because it works in both ways. Okay, so suppose we want to concatenate two variables over here. So let's see how it works. Print 5 how are you? So here I have specified two values in the print parameters, hi and how are you. So it's just concatenating hi, how are you, and outputting the same in the console. Suppose I try to do the concatenation of a string value and a numeric value. Let's see how it works. Five. So since 5 is a numeric, I have not specified any quotes into it. So it works like this. But suppose if there is another way to concatenate is by using the plus sign. Let's see how it works. So with plus sign, what it does, it concatenates two values. But one point to note is when we are doing this concatenation by using plus sign, the numeric value will consider it as a numeric operator as plus, and it will just throw an error. See, so since 5 is numeric in nature and plus is taking as the operator, so it's saying that high is not a numeric in nature. Or you can say it's a string but not an integer. So it's like so this won't work like this. So what we have to do is plus we have to specify the integer value in single quotes, and it comes to be high 5. So here the difference between above high 5, which is this one, and one is this one, is that in the previous one there was a single space automatically it takes, but here it doesn't take the single space. If you want to give a single space, then if you want this output to come with a single space, you can specify a single space after high. So it's like print high single space, like this. Okay, one more thing. So some of us prefer to use a single quotes some of us prefer to use double quotes. Suppose we are using just single quotes and we want to write something like this: print we are having fun. So here you can see there is a change in color also, and it's saying invalid syntax. So basically the single quotes before R is not taking it correctly. So to resolve this, Python has given escape character, and what it does, it basically escapes the functionality of that character. So how it works is like print so the single so this is the escape character, and we can use continue writing the same thing. We are having fun. So it works correctly as we expected. So but if some of us prefer to use the double quotes, then there is no use, then there is no need to write any escape character, because the shell won't get confused between the single and the double. So it's like print double quotes we are having fun. So as you see it's coming as expected. So I think there was an extra space after we, so it's showing as we and space are having fun. Okay, so that's the way it works. Then we can also suppose there was a this one, the print function. We have used the plus sign before the quotes. Instead of the single quotes, we also can use a function which is inbuilt, which is a string function. So it's like print hi str5. So what it basically does, it will just convert the 5 into a string and will just concatenate to hi. Okay, suppose we can also use an integer function if we have something like integer. So like if we are saying x is equal to 7, so x is holding a value which is integer in nature, and we want to convert this into a string, and it works like print I plus str of x, and it will be high 7. Okay, suppose x is holding a value which is string in nature. So x is having a value of 7, but that is a string, and we want to do some kind of mathematical operation and print that on this value. So like print, if we do x plus 5, it won't work, because x was a string in nature which was 7 and 5 is numeric. So to resolve this, we have a function for integer as well, print int of x plus 5. So it adds up successfully to 12. Okay, similar to integer, we can also have the float value as well. So like x is equal to 6.5. Suppose this is in single quotes. So x is holding a float value. So how it can work, like print float of x plus 4. So it's simply adding it to 10.5. Okay, now let's turn to the another function which is like a user defined function. So if we want a user to specify the value and we perform our function, our operation on that value, then we can use a function which is called input. So it's like suppose x is equal to input enter a value. When we just hit enter, what it will simply ask enter a value. We specify the value as suppose 8. So at x will have store a value which is equal to 8. So if you write simply x, it will throw it 8. So one thing to note over here, that x value that 8 is holding is a string in nature because it is having in single quotes. So what if you have to do some kind of mathematical operation on the same? And if you want the user to specify this value as integer only, so how you can do is like x is equal to int of input, enter a value. And if you specify now 8, and if you try to print it, so this time the value of x has come to numeric. Okay, so this way you can directly use the mathematical operation. So here what x, when we have done the int of input, so this is called basically casting. We are trying to cast the value which is being provided by the user by using our function which is integer int. So we are just casting this value from string to numeric. So with using the above different methods, we can just do any kind of operation to these value user defined function. So that's it for today's session. Hope this was useful to us, to you all. In case of any issue, any questions, just write down your comments below and I will be happy to answer. Okay, so just don't forget to like and subscribe the video, and take care. Goodbye.